talk about first loves. So most of us have had first love, probably remember him or her. And we were talking earlier about what is it that makes the first love someone who you usually can't forget. It's usually a real intense, almost love-hate, not in every situation, but it's someone that you're going to remember the rest of your life. And why is that? Because you could have, 3 or 4 very meaningful relationships in your life. And there's something about the first love that you just kind of always go back to in your mind once in a while. You just remember things in detail.
How were you when you had your first love?
I was 17. And my first love, he knows who he is. And I just fell head over heels for him because it was my first love. I didn't know any better. I was naive. I was very young. And it was like a love-hate. It was just very, part of it was the age. You know what I mean? Those are hard ages, 17 to 20 and whatever.
Where you're feeling your way into what you don't even know what you like, much less trying to get into a relationship.
Yeah, and at that point in your life, when you're going through it, you don't think to yourself, oh, this is my first love. This is great. This is going to be this is going to be that. You just kind of go with it. And anyway, it's, obviously we didn't stay together. And there are, I think, rarely people who meet that young stay together. Now, there's exceptions. I have a very good friend, and she and her husband actually met the same time. That's how I met my first love. Because she met her husband, and he was kind of hanging out with the same group of people. And I'd sit there, and she and her husband would be, in this deep conversation. I'd be kind of sitting there. And so and he was there with some other people, and that's how I met him. But anyway, my friend and her husband, they're still together. They have a great relationship, been married for years, just have a really good life, and that worked great. So there are times when it will work.
Well, and I have a sister, too. They met in high school. They got married after high school. They've got 3 kids. They're still married. They're best friends. They do pretty much everything together, so it's pretty cool.
I think it's great. I haven't been fortunate like that. My parents too. They were married 54 years, and I always wanted that. I really did, but I just, for some reason, it just wasn't in the cards. It just didn't work out. Probably choices I made and things like that shouldn't have made. But whatever.
Didn't we talk about that before? Where sometimes when you meet this first person, you think they're cute, they think you're cute, so you get married, and it doesn't live happily ever after because that was the only criteria you had for getting together was you liked each other and you thought you were cute. They could be your first love, but that doesn't mean. I've always said you can love someone, but that doesn't mean you can live with them.
Well,
so
and
there's a lot of things to work through. That first love can be crazy and wonderful and all that, but you just might not be compatible enough to be able to live together.
And compatibility, I think that's key. Not that I'm an expert, but going by my experience, if anybody can learn something from it, I know I learned that, living with somebody is completely different than just, passion or you're in love with the person. The day-to-day life things, that has to be the person that you're going to go through the day-to-day things in life that sometimes aren't always pleasant and can be compatible together.
Now, my first love was, I met him when I was 17 and I married him. Mm-hmm. And I had dated 1 or 2. I got to start dating when I was 16, so I dated 1 or 2 boys for short-term things before that. But then I met my husband, and he was my first everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, I learned. He taught me how to golf. He taught me how to play ping pong. He taught me how to play pool. He taught me all this stuff. I mean, I had done played pool when I was a kid before that, but it wasn't the same. It was we did everything together, and we got married, and then we grew apart. And we did end up, but 20 years later we got divorced, which was a long time. But we found out that compatibility thing was a problem. And like I said, I still loved him, but I couldn't live with him anymore. And I'm sure he felt the same way about me. Now he passed away a couple of years ago, but we had a son together. I went and helped with the funeral and stuff. But I said, he was my first everything.
Right.
So it leaves a gap in your life, even though you didn't live together anymore, and you still. We didn't talk a lot, but
and you grew. You got something out of it, and they always say, well, my experiences made me who I am today, and I mean, obviously that's true.
Yeah, you wouldn't give that up.
There's a lot of truth in that. Yeah. And then later when you meet the right person, or I should say maybe the most compatible person, your first love doesn't have to be your true love or your last love. honestly. So, but we're out of time as usual. So thank you for joining us.
And remember, life should be an incredible buzz.